Hey, you guys, thanks for listening in to this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Miss Laura with us. Hey, Miss Laura, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, T. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I always appreciate the opportunity to meet new folks and, have a conversation about business and life. So I'm a freelance writer, and I'm also a business coach to new and aspiring freelancers, as well as to writers who want to improve their craft.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about freelance writing because a lot of people might not know what it is, but tell us exactly what freelance writing is to you.
So freelance writing is basically reaching agreements with different companies to fulfill their writing needs. So it's an independent contractor arrangement versus getting hired as an employee. So essentially, instead of writing for one company as a staff writer, as like a full-time employee, you would have several different clients that you wrote for so that you could earn enough money, to make a living.
Mhm. Awesome. So how can freelance writing help um, with business owners when it comes to creating different content? Like I know you were telling me one time before about website articles and social media posts and newsletters. So how can that benefit someone's business?
So I think the number one thing really is that business owners are always short on time. And, in the internet age, content marketing is super important. It helps keep your business's name top of mind with prospective customers. It promotes brand awareness. It builds that relationship so that eventually your target market will make a purchase from you. And so doing content creation consistently is really, really time consuming. And for an entrepreneur that's always got a to-do list that's never ending and is always running short on time, being able to farm that out to a freelance writer can free up their schedule, their bandwidth, so that they can focus on, kind of instant generating, income generating activities like sales, but still get their content done. So it fulfills a need and also takes some pressure off.
Awesome. Um, so I think what are so for instance, let's take an example. So say if I want to use a newsletter, which I do, to build my brand, what type of content should I have within that newsletter that can help me build my brand?
So I think you need to figure out how to answer your audience's questions. So your content should help them achieve something. It should help them solve a problem. So that's part of it, but it should also connect with them on a personal level. So people are going to want to know more about you as it relates to the problem that you solve. So you're going to want to inject a little bit about your story in there too. So have that kind of conversational dialogue going, present them with useful information that they can take action on right away, that plants the seeds that you're an expert. So when they need some additional guidance, that they'll reach out to you because you'll be top of mind. And then, maybe reserve a section for promotion. So specifically a sale on a product or service that you're running, or even an affiliate product that you want to promote.
Awesome. So thank you for those tips because like you know what like you said a lot of small business owners struggle with that and like me I kind of struggle with that so that would be something that I would outsource to someone like you because those are not my strong points and so and even though they're not my strong points they do benefit um your actual business, your brand. Like you say, you want to reach those people, you want to be able to answer those type questions. um and incorporate yourself so you can be able to so your clientele can feel like they can relate to you. So put yourself inside their situation. And a lot of us entrepreneurs we struggle with that because we're so focused on the business part and actually doing the actual service or the product. But when it comes to the marketing part and the writing part, it can be a struggle for some of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there are certain things in my business that I farm out. I could sit there and do my accounting, but it's better served for me to pay someone else to do it so that I can focus on creating content for my clients and continuing to grow my own brand. So I definitely understand that. I think every entrepreneur has a list of things that they'd be better off farming out when they have, the capital to do so.
Mhm. So how has freelance writing gave you freedom?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's been everything, really. It just comes down to being able to complete the work on a schedule that fits into my life. Freelance writing has enabled me to literally drop everything and fly from Florida to Massachusetts to attend to family matters on 3 separate occasions over the last 2.5, 3 years. I had a death in the family, a serious illness in the family. I just helped my mom move. All of those things would have been much more difficult to tend to had I been restricted by a 9 to 5 schedule and had to commute to an office every day. So being able to work at off hours, being able to work anywhere there's an internet signal, being able to just say, hey, I'm not going to be working for a while because I have more important things going on in my life. And knowing that, um, you know, at least some of my freelance relationships will still be there when I'm ready to return. I mean, that's everything. You can't expect an employer to let you walk away for months on end, um, you know, and still have a job to come back to. So freelancing really has enabled me to respond to my life in a way that traditional employment never would be able to allow me to do.
Yeah. Um, I most definitely, like I said, um, enjoy being an entrepreneur just for that reason. Because when you work on an actual job, you can't, you know, you can request time off, but it's not a guarantee you're gonna get that time off. And especially when you got a lot going on within your personal life, you want to be able to do something that gives you that balance to say, hey, okay, I do need to take off this amount of time and recruit. And if you got those loyal customers, they'll be willing to understand, and then they will always come back for your business once you build that strong customer and customer based relationship. It will come back. But like just being an entrepreneur does give you a lot of freedom. However, it does comes with a lot of responsibility, but to me, it's just a peace of mind. Like you said, you take off when you need to, when your family illness and stuff come up, you know, you are in control of your business. So you can make those decisions where you feel like it's best for you, where otherwise when you're with an employer, it's not might not be always the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of having to kind of grovel and beg for your 2 weeks vacation every year, you basically get to say, you know what, see ya. I have other things I need to be doing.
Mhm.
And that's very powerful.
Yeah, it is. So how can someone break into the freelance writing if they would like to do so as like potential side hustle and then want to actually turn it into one of their full-time jobs? How can someone do that?
I think the best way to, get on the path of becoming a freelance writer is to actually write online. And so you can start a blog
Mhm.
for very little money and start writing articles about things that you're very knowledgeable about or passionate about. And as you do that, as you refine your writing voice, as you showcase your expertise, you'll want to network with other bloggers, both in your niche and in other niches. And then you'll want to start to network with other websites that could potentially use your writing services. So it's a slow process. You're building up your initial body of work. So your first blog posts, unless you've been published online before, are truly your initial portfolio that you're going to use to start building your freelance business. And once you have your own blog kind of up and running, the next step would be to try to land a guest post or two on a larger website than yours in your niche of expertise. And typically those gigs are unpaid, although some may give you a stipend. But the goal is to be able to say that you've been published somewhere else, which makes it easier for paying gigs, clients to say yes to you when you pitch them or when you respond to an ad looking for writers. So that's the basic building blocks is starting your own blog, networking with people, and once your blog is up and running, start doing some guest posting. And then at that point, you'll be able to really start going after your first paid gigs. So it's a process, but it's worth the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Miss Laura, for coming on the show and giving us your tips and how you got freedom through freelance writing and how important it is to our businesses. So I'm going to share your social media handles. Can you tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you if they would like?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really active on Twitter, and that's my handle is at Everyday Lake. And I'm also active on LinkedIn. So you can see those that link there on T's slides. And then you can also feel free to email me at laura@everydaybythelake.com. I read and reply to every message that I receive and would absolutely love to connect with you on all things freelancing.
Awesome. And if you guys want to get in contact with me, feel free by doing so. You can call me at 910-317-0396. You can shoot me an email at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation on the website at www.mjfinancial.biz. You can find this episode on Anchor, you guys, and you can also find this episode on the YouTube channel as well for M&J Financial Management. So thank you once again, Ms. Laura, for being a guest on the show today. I highly appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me, T. I enjoy the conversation and I appreciate being a guest.
You are absolutely welcome. And you guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.